We're gonna start with some mobilization for the torso, and then we're gonna go into a lot more rigorous type movements. So let's bring the hands behind the head, interlace your fingers and stretch your neck up long, like you're trying to kind of undo any sort of slump that you've gotten into today. Feel like you're really tall. Bend your knees into a squat as you bring your elbows towards your knees. Push the floor away, and then open the elbows up and back. If you like, you can bend the knees here as well. And then push the floor away and bend the knees, go into a side bend. Push the floor away again, lift up and over, side bend. Lift up and over, then rotate your upper body over one thigh. Bend your knees, bring your elbows towards your knees. Shift your hips a little bit off center. And then push the floor away, grow back up and out of it. And again, shift your hips off center, bring your elbows towards your knees, and push the floor away. Do that a couple more times. So we go through that whole cycle, elbow to knees, press the floor away, extend the spine, press the floor away, side bend, getting taller, side bend the other way. Then rotate over one thigh, round through the spine, shift your hips a little off center, press yourself back up, and shift a little off center, and press back up one more time, rounding. Try inhaling or exhaling as you stretch open, side bend the other way first, push yourself back up, and side bend. Rotate over one thigh, flex elbows to knee, press the floor away, rotate, and elbows to knee, and press yourself back up. Reach one leg back into a lunge, reach your arms forward, and then just push and pull so you're rotating through your upper body. Back heel is off the floor. You're in a big lunge, the front knee is really bent. Long line from the head to the feet, and then the rotation through the torso, rotating. And then you're gonna add the front arm, the arm that is the same as the front leg. So gonna rotate, sweep across, and then a little faster, rotate, sweep across, and rotate. Look towards the hand, glide your hand past the bottom arm, past the bottom arm, or this arm, whichever, however you want to think about it. So you're protracting, retracting one more time, and then step back forward and up, sweep the other leg out behind you, reach and go into that rotation. Find a little bounce and a playfulness to it. Rotate and rotate and rotate and rotate. And then allow that arm to bend and sweep across. Reach, sweep past the other hand. If you're having trouble with your balance like I am today, go off your mat. It'll be a little easier to maintain the balance. And two more. And then step back forward, round your back, grab a hold of the back of the knees and kind of push into the back of the knees so you're stretching your spine open more. Then transfer your hands to the front of your thighs and extend the spine. And then do that a couple times, hands towards the back of the knees so you can give yourself a little leverage there to open the lower spine. Hands to the knees, extend. Twice more, rounding, scoop the abs back. Hands come to the front of the thighs, you extend. And last one, rounding, scooping out the abdomen. And extend. Press the floor away, stand all the way back up. And we're gonna bring our hands back to the back of the head. You're gonna imagine you're getting like punched in the sternum and flex over the sternum. So you can think about like maybe if you were throwing a ball forward, that's the feeling of it. And then you're gonna add your knees bending, push and grow back up. So it's like a standing abdominal exercise. Use the elbows to help kind of leverage the sternum open and close, depending on if you're flexing or extending. Use your eyes to kind of guide you. One more time. And then take one arm down your side, big side bend, reaching towards the floor. Roll forward, bring your hand back behind your head. The other hand reaches down and you come up. And side bend, roll forward, start to transfer hands. Side bend and up. And reach the lat, the side of your armpit open. And side bend. Good. And then bend the knees if you like to make it a little bit bigger range. And up. And you bend the knees, you round through the spine, find the other side bend and come up. And side bend, round. One more time. And come all the way back up. Take your legs wide apart and just start to let your arms swing a little side to side and then start to feel, today I want more of this feeling of like that rib to opposite hip is pulling your arms across. So instead of it being light and floaty like this, I want it more like a speed skater. You're using your abs and your torso to pull yourself back. Move your legs are in a squat. Push, pull, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. So I see most of you are pretty static through your torso and it looks like this. I want it to be about the torso having some rotation, rotate, rotate, rotate. If you're trying to ski, like ski or speed skate, you have to go kind of fast. And then it's less of this up to down tapping like in a dance class, more down, down, down. Good, Gloria. And then come back and let the arms relax. And then just take the backs of the palms towards each other, the backs of the hands towards each other. And then turn the palms up, bend the elbows, open your sternum. Bend your knees, backs of the hands come towards each other. Open the sternum. Do that a couple more times. You can play around with the arms going more low, or they can open more high. They can close low or high. Whatever feels good. Opening, rounding, opening, twice more. And last one, rounding and opening. Let your arms just circle the shoulders around. As you continue to circle your shoulders, bring your feet a little bit more underneath you so your sits bones distance apart. And just find your balance on one foot, either tapping your foot to the floor or holding your leg up off of the floor. Try to keep the hip from hiking up. So you're just standing, nice. Circling shoulders, transfer your weight to the other foot, find your balance on the other foot. Big circles of the shoulders. You can't be strong without mobility. You might look strong, but those are often those people that, you know, they look really muscular and then they turn to the side and they can't move. They walk without any movement. We want movement and strength, and it's kind of got to be a partnership of those two things. All right, so then open across the chest, reach one foot forward and circle your ankle. And circle, connect into the standing hip, reach the arms out to the side, reverse, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You're gonna stay here, bring your foot to towards your knee, kick it back out away from you. Bring it towards your knee, kick it out away from you. Trying to find your balance here. bend and kick, bend and kick. 2 more. And last one, try to take the leg straight out to the side without setting your foot down in between. I'm just setting my foot down to turn. Obviously, if you lose your balance, put your foot down, but if you don't need to, don't. And circle the other way. Yeah. Trying to not hold on to anything, even if it means resetting multiple times. Being as vertical as you can. Bend into your knee, kick your leg back out low. Bend into your knee, kick back out low. 4, 5, try not to put weight on it. And 6, trying to find that balance. Then the leg's gonna go behind you. Stay as vertical as you can and circle the ankle. You might need to bend the knee. And reverse. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Bend your leg in, kick your foot back out. Bend it in, kick it out. One more. And then stand on the other leg. You should be feeling some hip work after all that to have held yourself up well that whole time. Circle your foot around. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Reverse. 6, 5. And then bend in, kick back out. Bend towards the knee, kick out. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Leg goes to the side, circle. Be as vertical as possible. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reverse. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend in, kick out to the side. Bend, kick out. Nice. And last one, leg is gonna go back, circle your foot around. You probably need to bend the knee in order to keep the torso vertical. Little bend and reverse it. 6, 5. Bend into the knee, kick towards the floor behind you. 2, 3, 4, and then bringing it back in. Then we're gonna go back to the first leg. You could do exactly what we did before or add to it. So to the front, you're just gonna bend your standing leg and reach your other leg out. Stay vertical through your torso today. Circle your ankle. You can lift this leg in the air as high as you can. 4, 5, and 6. Reverse. 6, 5. And then bend into the knee as you kick forward, hinge back a little bit. Again, if it's too hard to balance on the mat, which I'm struggling with today, then get rid of the mat. Vertical, hinge, or just stay vertical the whole time. Last one, and hinge back. Then the leg goes out to the side. Bend your standing leg, see if you can pick your foot up higher. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Reverse. 6, 5, 4. Bend your leg in and then kick your foot out and lean into your tilt. Bend in, tilt. Bend in, tilt. Use your arms like a tightrope walker to help you find your balance. So you're kind of pushing down through them. If it's too much to add the tilt, then just don't add the tilt. Whew. And then the leg is gonna go back. You're gonna bend the standing leg, circle. 2, 3, 4, and reverse. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the leg in as you kick out, airplane forward. Bend in, airplane. You need to touch your foot to the floor in between each one, you can. Kick, bend in, kick back. Last two, bend in. It's not about perfection. It's just about challenging new things. And then setting the foot down, shake your foot out, second side. So bend the standing leg, get as low as you can, circle the ankle, lift the leg in the air as high as you can, and reverse. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend in, hinge if you like, or stay vertical. 2, 3, doesn't have to be a big hinge. 4, 5, and 6. Leg goes out to the side, standing leg is bent. Lift your leg in the air as high as you can. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, reverse. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend in, try to hinge over. Pull yourself to vertical, tap your foot if you need to. Hinge, use your arms to help you. Tap if you need to, hinge, or bring your foot to your knee. Last one. And then the foot goes back, bend the standing leg, hold yourself in your balance, and circling. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, reverse. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend in, hinge forward. More vertical, more horizontal. Tap if you want, or bring the foot straight to the knee. One more, and last one. And setting your foot back down and shake your feet out. From here, take your legs about hips distance apart. Bend your knees into your squat position. And then I want you to just transfer your weight over one leg and then transfer it to the other leg. So you're just shifting side to side. The pelvis is more or less staying on the horizontal plane. Little shift. And you might feel like you can pick up that foot. Little shift, pick up the foot. Little shift, pick up the foot. Your knees are staying bent. You're staying low. Little shift, pick up the foot. Awesome. Hands on the hips, a little easier. Hands out to the side, a little harder. Hands overhead, harder. And last two, stay as low as you can. And last one. And then come all the way back up. Bring your feet closer together, nod your chin. Roll your spine down to the floor. Bend your knees and straighten your knees a couple times. Bending your knees. And straighten, think of rounding more as you straighten up. And last two, bend. And straighten, scoop up through the abdomen. Bend. And straighten. Kind of heel toe your feet further apart so that your head can get closer to the ground. Do the same thing. Bend your knees and feel like you're trying to reach your head to the floor more as you straighten your knees. Bend your knees. Feel like your head reaches into the floor more as you straighten. It'll feel like more of a opening through the back of the hamstring. Bend, stretch. Two more. Bend the knees. Stretch the back of the leggings open. And last one. Then heel toe your feet back towards each other. You're gonna step one foot back into a big lunge, and you can have your hand on your knee or on the floor outside your knee. Just open the front of the hip, lift up a little bit. Open the front of the hip, lift up from your abs. So the feeling of like you're shortening your ribs towards your pelvis to bring yourself up. Open the hip, lift a little, open the hip, Lift one more time, open the hip, lift, step that foot forward, reach the other leg back, and open the hip, scooping around through the lower back. Open, open, and lift. And then stepping your foot back forward, let your head relax. Feel the back of the pelvis draw down as you roll up to standing. Awesome. So then continuing to open up our upper body, come down into a squat, hand to the inside of the knee, other hand to your forehead. Stay low in your squat, rotate your torso open, square yourself back off. The arm that's down is reaching further down the leg. And then your elbow is going to bend and press back. You're going to reach across the diagonal, rotate. With each of these, it should feel like these different variations give you more mobility with each one. One more. Then we add extending the elbow, sweep the arm across, bend, extend, sweep. And then keep the arms straight, press yourself around. Do 2 extra here. And then stand all the way back up. And you come back down again. Other hand, other direction. Rotate and square it off. Rotate. And then adding the arm reaching from diagonal, low diagonal towards high diagonal with that back elbow. Try not to come up out of it as you are rotating. Yeah. Add your elbow extension, straight arm sweeps across. Keep the arms straight. Press around. 8, 7, 6. Two more. And then press the floor away. Stand back up. Shake it out. And from here, we're going to go back into our lunge. So pick one leg, take that leg back, find a big lunge, so that you're in a position where you couldn't probably get your heel all the way down. And I want you to just do a little bit of a bounce where you find that sweet spot. Your heel might not go all the way down, that's totally fine. Little bounce, bounce, bounce. And then push up onto the ball of the foot. And then you're gonna lower that back knee, like kind of wedding proposal position, straighten the back knee, going down, and pressing yourself back up. If you wanna have the arms forward, a little harder, overhead a little harder. Just adding body weight and lever length, yeah. Down and up. And then working with some of the arms we did at the beginning. So the backs of the hands are gonna come towards each other as you go down. Then your elbows are gonna open and extend the spine as you come up, but a little faster. If you want to add to this, you can step forward as the arms open, step back, and step forward. If you want to add to that, you could lift the leg, but it's a lot more work to balance. Down, and either tap or lift the knee. Down, tap or lift the knee. One more. Stop when you get into that standing position with your foot tapped, and then lift your foot off the floor, find your balance. Hold your balance as you circle your arms around, big circles. 2, 3, and 4. Reverse the circles, big circle. Try to challenge your stability so they can be really big. And for setting that foot down, other leg is gonna reach back, find that big elongated lunge, find a little bounce, opening up through that back calf heel. Then push the floor away and down and press yourself up. You can see your front leg, so make sure your knee is kind of going over the center of the foot. You're descending and ascending from that front glute. You're trying to straighten the back leg at the top, but not the front leg. And down and up. Arms can be forward, they can be up. And then we add our arms to this. So bend your back knee, backs of the hands come towards each other, straighten your back leg, arms open. And bend and straighten back leg. And if you want, you can add that stepping forward and back, tapping, big lunge, tap forward or lift the leg, lunge, tap forward, lift the leg. Two more. Last one. Stop when you're standing. Find your balance on that leg and circle the arms around. 4, 3, 2, 1, reverse. 4, swinging the arms. 3, 2, and 1, setting the feet back down. Good. Okay, from here, find your feet wide to the outside of the hips. Come down into your squat and stay and hold, lifting one heel, lowering it. We've done this before. Arms can be out to the side or overhead to make it a little harder. Try not to move your body side to side. And then try to pick a height of your squat where you don't have to kind of continue to drop the chest down to feel like you're low enough. The torso's on an angle. Good. And then going into reciprocal. So one, then the other, but they're both moving at the same time. The pelvis is staying level. Try not to let the hips lower and lift. And try not to make it so heavy in the heel. It's more about the push up, 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 up. Then lifting both heels, lowering both heels, lifting both heels, lowering both heels. You're trying to not do it like you're just popping the ankles forward. I want the push to lift your body and lower your body. You're trying not to change the hips or the knees. You're pushing the whole shape up, pushing the whole shape up. And then stand up for a minute, take a 2-second break. We have one more piece to add on here. So coming back down into your squat, transfer your weight a little bit towards one leg so you can lift the heel. And then keep that weight in that heel. Bring your foot a little closer to the midline. Rotate your knee turned out and back in. So you're still in your squat. You're just rotating the leg, rotating it, rotating it. And then see if you can scoot your foot out. It's not a big range of motion, but it's a little harder on that standing leg. And then setting that foot back down, find your squat, lift your foot, sneak it in, rotate, rotating the leg, like your clam, but standing. Standing leg shouldn't be moving around. So Bobby, go a little slower so that as the knee opens, it doesn't pull your standing leg with it. Yeah, sneak your foot out if you need to make it a little harder. Rotating. One more. And then come back up to standing. Either stay parallel for another set or turn out. So go down into your squat, lift one heel, lower, and 2, 3. Then reciprocal, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. Then both heels lift the shape, both heels lower the shape. You're not straightening your legs. You're trying to lift from the ankle movement. Yeah, that's it. Feel like the knees are stretching wider. Last one. And then stand all the way back up. And we come down for that last little bit. Works a little bit better here. So lift your heel, turn your leg in, turn it back, turn it in, turn it back. So your weight isn't shifting further over that standing leg. With the turned out legs, you should be able to keep your weight kind of centered. Set that foot down a second. Try the other side. Internal, external. And then setting that foot down, straighten your legs back up. One more thing here. So bring your hands back behind your head. And we're gonna come down into our squat. Lift one heel, side bend towards that leg. Bring yourself to vertical. 2, 3, 4, 5, nice. And 6. And set that foot down, the other heel lifts. Bring your elbow to your knee. One more. And then standing all the way back up. If you've come off your mat, you can bring your mat back now. And you're gonna roll down through your spine again, nodding the chin, rolling down, and walk your feet out until you can set your knees down in your leg pull front prep position. From here, we're gonna put our right elbow, well, the back one, the one that's further from the camera, put that one down. The leg closest to the camera, we're gonna extend towards straight. Lift it up in the air and lower, big circle. Lower, big circle. Yeah. Try not to shift your weight forward and collapse through the arm. Biggest circle you can make. And then reverse that big circle. Awesome, that looks great, everyone. Way up behind you. And then bend the knee and the elbow towards each other. Kick it back out. Pull it in, press it out. Pull, push. Keep your torso in the same position. And then you're gonna start to add more of a side bend, so like the upper body is coming to meet the lower body, then it stretches out. You can do this standing at the, the back of a chair or something like that if this isn't working to be kneeling. Last one. And then set that knee down. Sit back towards your heels, stretch your arms really far forward, open through your armpits. And then come back forward, put the other elbow down. The second leg will extend out. Big circle, up, back, and around. Up, back, and around. And reverse. Good. And then bring your knee towards your elbow, press it back out. Knee towards the elbow, kick it back out. Then side bend, so you're bringing your upper body to meet the leg, kick it out. Meet the leg, kick it out. Do 2 more. And last one. And bring your leg down. Sit back towards your heels and come up onto your knees. And reach one arm up overhead. The other hand can come to the back of the thigh. So you're like pushing against the back of your thigh. And you're just starting to kind of lean back. You can look over the shoulder or up at the ceiling and then switch to the other arm. Little lean. And if that feels good, find the place that supports you best. You can go a little further. Just beginning to work on these extension exercises. One more each side. Feel like the pelvis pushes forward, pelvis forward, gorgeous. And then sitting the hands back down on the floor. And we're gonna come down onto the forearms and turn your palms to face down. Bring your hips underneath, over your knees. And then just push your arms up to straight, lower your elbows down. So your elbows are directly underneath your shoulders. So you're just hinging at the hips. So you're using your body weight to get some shoulder work going. If you want this to be harder, just start to move the legs further out. You could even move one leg all the way to straight and then the other and see if you could do it with a full plank position. Some of you might be into that. Yeah, awesome. And one more time, press yourself up, bring your hands back underneath you. So you're back in your quadruped position. And you're gonna step your hand and your leg out to the side and then step back in and then step the other way and then step back in. Is that hard? No, but we're gonna make it harder. So if you can, push yourself up into leg pull front prep so your knees are hovering, step out, in, in. Your choice if you do it with the knees down and you're just kind of going side to side. Still definitely work through the shoulder girdle to do that. Obviously more work if you're hovered up. One more. Come back in, set your knees down, sit back towards the heels, and we're gonna roll over onto our backs. Similar to what you were doing when you were standing at the beginning, the standing abdominal exercise. You're gonna have your hands behind your head, flex your upper body up and look towards your feet, set your head back down. Look towards your feet, set it back down. And then you're gonna start to add a little bit more force, I would say, to it so that it's a little faster on the way up, slower on the way down. So fast up, slow down. If you want to add one leg lifting to tabletop, you can. It's like you're trying to bring yourself up far enough that your knee and your forehead meet. Maybe not literally, but that's the idea. One more. Do one more, stay, hold, and go into your single leg stretch. Kick one leg out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Add your obliques, rotate towards armpit, elbow to knee. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lower your legs back down. And we repeat, flexing forward, lift one leg, set it down. Whichever leg you started with before, pause on that side, single leg stretch, and you press out. 2, no rotation, 3, 4. You can take your leg as low as you can stabilize. And going into your obliques, go towards the knee. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Come back to the center. Hug your legs in. Give your legs a little rock from side to side. And we're gonna roll onto our side. Mermaid position. And hand in line with your knees. You're gonna push yourself up and go over into a big side bend, and then lower yourself back down. And push yourself up into a big side bend, and lower yourself back down. One more time. Big side bend. And then set your hips back down. Just flip your legs over or turn around to face the other side. Super simple. Side bend. And we're gonna add to this one arm balance in a moment. One more. And then turn over onto your hands. Find your plank position. If you'd like, you could do a kneeling plank and just hold it. Otherwise, find a plank with your legs extended and your legs wide apart. Start to rotate your legs to one side. Reach your arm towards the ceiling. Set your hand down. You don't have to lift your hand all the way up. You go as far as it seems appropriate. After a few, set your knees down. Take a stretch. And we're gonna repeat again. Make sure you take a break somewhere. Go a little faster to the ceiling, slower to lower down. Faster, slower to lower down. And then finish that up. Set your knees down, stretch your arms forward. Take a few breaths here. And then step one foot forward between your hands. So you're in a lunge. Try to make it so the back hip is open. You're not vertical through the back leg. You're more open than that. Tuck those back toes under and push your knee towards straight and then bend it. Should be like a kind of taffy pull. So the back heel is going back, the knee is going forward. You're getting longer. Get longer to lift the knee. One more. And then set that leg down, switch the other leg back. Toes tuck under, open, bend the knee. Reach the heel away from the front knee. And then bringing your legs back together. You can face whatever way you want, but you're gonna reach one leg out to the side, the opposite arm to the side. And rotate and thread underneath the standing arm. Push the floor away, rotate up to the ceiling. Thread under and rotate to the ceiling. Under, rotate. Two more. And last one. Setting your hand down. Stretch the other leg out to the side. And thread under. Press and rotate. And last one. And setting your hands down and just kind of undulate your spine. Sit back, scoop your belly off your thighs, shift forward. Sit back, scoop your belly off your thighs, shift forward, twice more. And last one. And you're gonna sit down again and have your legs forward. Few options. So round to the back of the sit bone, grab behind one leg, use that leg to roll back a little bit, come forward, stop at the back of the sits bones, and then lift and look up on the high diagonal, lengthen through the spine. So you're rounding back, then you're trying to come up and lengthen. You also could do this with the knees squeezed together and one leg straight. Having the legs apart like this will make it a little easier to mobilize your hip joints. If you're gonna keep holding onto one leg, switch to the other leg. If you wanna lift both legs up, you could do that as well. Harder to stabilize, of course. Feeling like you're pulling back through the lower back evenly, and you scoop and you roll back up, and you find that teaser spine at the top where you're elongating. Yeah, nice, Bobby. Rolling back. If you don't need to hold on to your legs, then let go. Up and out of the spine, rounding back, scooping up, and then set your feet down. So hopefully that all feels good. If you want to stick to one of those versions you were just doing, please do. We're going to kind of combine this teaser with rolling like a ball feeling to make it a little harder. Nobody has to add to it. But if you start with your feet down, start with your feet down. You're going to roll back, circle your arms around, and when you come back up, pick your feet up. So you roll down, set your feet down, circle the arms around, pick your feet up. Set the feet down, pick them up. Then if you want to keep them up, a little harder. If you want to add one leg reaching, scoop up, roll down, scoop up. Or you could do both legs reaching. One leg's pretty hard because it's asymmetrical, so it pulls you off your midline a little bit. 4 more, rounding back. It's meant to be fast, so pick an option that you're able to keep it moving through. That looks great, Anne. Down and back, circle the arms around, scoop your legs up. Set your feet down, reach back, scoop them up. One more time. And then set your feet down, come over onto your hands and knees, and push yourself up into a pike like downward dog. You don't have to have your feet down, heels down, but you can if you are capable of. And then bend your knees, lower your knees into your quadruped position. Lift your hips back up. Lower down and lift up. Then if you want to add a little challenge to this, as you lower down, pick one foot up off the floor. As you stretch the legs open, set the foot down. Lower, lift, lower. You could kick up to the ceiling as well. Lower down, kick up. I actually think it's harder when you alternate feet and you don't kick up to the ceiling. Two more. Last one. Stretch the legs to straight. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Drop the back of the pelvis. Roll yourself up to standing. And pause. Okay, so if you have a chair that has a back on it, like a dining chair, that would be helpful, that you could put your hands on, or you can put your hands on a wall. If you want it to be hard, you could put your fingers on the seat of the chair instead of the back of the chair. So what I want you to do is come down into a squat position, touch either seat of the chair, back of the chair, wall, something. Yeah, okay. So now you're gonna take your feet wide, probably about as wide as the chair, about hips distance apart, and you're gonna tap one foot back. You're gonna do as little shifting side to side as you alternate between feet, but you have to step back wide, because what'll happen is the feet will get closer together to make it easy. I want wide apart and you trying to not shift. Bobby, bend your knees more and bring your feet closer to the chair. way closer. More. Now lift your upper body up. There. Yes. Perfect. So then you're going to pick one foot to stay out behind you. Keep the front knee where it is. Rotate your pelvis a little to the side. Square your hips back off to the floor. Try not to rotate the shoulders. Try not to rotate the standing knee. So as you're moving your pelvis, that front knee isn't wobbling all over the place. It's a smooth, slow motion. It's not quick and ballistic. Some of you are doing it by hiking and shortening this side. It's not about the side, this side, both sides of your waist to stay the same length. Your pelvis is just rotating and coming back to the front. So try to not jam yourself up in that front hip. Rotate the pelvis, square it off. It's coming from the outer hip and the rotation of the pelvis. Then coming back in and go back to those tapping, step wide, tap, step wide, tap, step wide. Try not to put weight on that leg as you step back, or it transfers all the weight back and kind of changes it. Reach the second leg back, rotate the pelvis, square it to the front. Rotate it towards the diagonal, square it to the front. Yeah, and some of you who are holding the back of the chair, it's tempting to kind of pull back against it. I actually think the wall is better in that way because you can't pull against it. Don't pull on the chair, you're just touching it. Should feel like a lot of hip work here. Front knee is really stable. Last one. And then coming back, stepping back up to your standings. You can either do another set of that same exact thing. We're gonna add to this. So you come down, do your taps, tapping back, feet wide. Reach the first leg out. If you can, float it a little off the floor. Rotate the pelvis, square it off. Obviously, you can go back to keeping the foot on the floor. Make sure that front knee is staying stable. You're not turning the knee to move the pelvis. It's a hard motion because we're used to moving our upper body, not our lower body, into rotation. Try not to shorten the side of the waist that's the same as the front leg. Yeah. Hold your leg up behind you, little pulse. From the top of the hamstring, like an alligator tail. Your leg is heavy and long. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back in, going back into tapping, touching back as far as you can away from you. Next time you get the second leg out behind you, leave it there, float it away from the floor, rotate the pelvis, square it off. Yeah, and so if you picture the two hip bones like headlights, those headlights would be turning a little bit to the side, then back towards the front. As you stay here, it's tempting to have that front leg get straighter because you get tired. It's still a squat, a one-legged kind of squat position. Hold the leg up and little pulse. And setting that leg down and standing all the way back up. Awesome. Either holding the back or the sitting surface of the chair, come down into your squat again. You'll have to transfer a little bit of weight onto your fingertips. So, let your body shift over into your diagonal like we did at the beginning, but you're gonna stay here and circle your leg around. Bending the standing leg. Yeah. We've been doing this with without holding on to anything, reverse. And it's nice to just focus on the legs sometimes too. And then standing back up, turn around or face the other direction. Find your squat, lift the leg, little bit of weight in the hands. It's just there for balance. Reverse your leg, 6. And then setting that leg back down. Good. To finish, just take your legs wide apart, bend your knees, and just wag your tail, rock your hips a little side to side. You can play around with offsetting your hips. You can be turned out, just kind of getting everything loose again and centered. And then you can come back in and you're all done. Awesome work. Good job.